Okay, so one of the feature I wanted to implement here with the extension was to globally mute all the tabs. So say if I choose to play something from the new, right, and if we go to say staff picks, right, just from here, right, so if we play something like that, already muted. So say you want to mute while you are working on some other tab, right? So globally you want all the tabs to be muted so that you can focus on one other tab, right? So to do that, what I did, basically I created a PRD, then prompt, directory structure, and also the code assistant through DeepSeek. So I'll take this to cursor, right? Here I will create new folder, right? Within temp I will say new tab, right? And then select the folder within which I have to create .cursor folder, and then use prd.md. Also I will choose execution.md, right? Finally I will also use icon.py. So in prd.md I will paste everything from the DeepSeek, right? I have to separate out the code assistant part for execution.md. So I will take everything that is visible here, cut in, paste in, right? Now comes the part where you have to implement the prompt. So I will take that too and choose to separate it out from the PRD, right? Now here you see you have directory structure, user flow. Now here is icon PI, for which I also got the script through DeepSeek, right? So I will go to that script and get it into our project. Now next part, we have to select all the available context for PRD execution and icon, right? Now if I go back to our prompt, here I will paste that, but before that I will have to point out the prd.md, then execute using execution.md, then we read the prompt and generate the placeholder icons using icon.py, right? Once we do all of this, you can simply hit enter and let the script work. Now meanwhile, for Firefox, here if we type about debugging and hit enter, this should come up as screen where you also have this Firefox tab, then you have load temporary add-ons, right? So we will point manifest file here. Going back to cursor, you can see it is working on the project. First it is attempting to create the required directories, then choose the icon script, right, which we already presented it. Then comes the fix for icon sizes. So I'm not sure why it is trying to rewrite something which I already did much better, right? Now background JS is created, then comes your manifest, right? Then finally I think it would work on pop-up.js, HTML and CSS. So we have the flow there, right? Now as you can see, it is now working on this directory. So once finally completed, we will be able to see the extension that would run here. And for that we have to just disable the option to mute everything, right? So we will let it run to reasonable level so that we can mute later, right? Do pay attention to the mute functionality, considering trying to increase the level of sound would cause some content ID issues. Okay, so once everything is done, what I can do is watch the summary, right? There is also readme I can go through. Now if I check the Firefox, this is where I have to load the manifest, and here you can see it says background script running. And if I check the permission, okay, this is still running here. Now coming to the tab, so I will run one instance of such audio, and I will try not to do the global mute, right? So it is still going on, as you can see here. So it seems the mute isn't working, right? Current status, so option is something like this. There is also option for domain exclusion. I don't think we need that, right? So going back here, let it run, and it is still going. So I will say the mute globally isn't working, no errors either, right? So there seems to be some sort of a flaw, right? So we'll have to wait for not able to inject the background script, right? So I'm going to wait and see what manifest has updated so far. Okay, so the update says so it is working. I have to just accept the changes, go back and reload the plugin. So let me load through manifest, and it is running now. If we go here and then check the permissions for it to be allowed, next I will just start it first, and then now it is mute without me having to do anything. So it is currently working. If I run this, it will just show the video, right? So we can even attempt to do this with other options, right? So let's go here, let's try and run something. Okay, so if we are to check, here you can see it is currently going on. But let's say if I choose to, some sites go through this and they don't really get muted. However, for Vimeo it did work, right? So some exceptions will be there, but so far it is working. Let me try one more search, right? So we can go ahead and see if it's genuinely working or not. Right, so let me try some. Okay, and if we choose any specific resource where it is being run, right? So we will take one of there whiteboards, right? It seems they are now hosting with this particular place, right? So if I go back and see any other site, right? So here we see go through and they don't usually get applied to every domain so far. So but some domains do allow the mute this way, right? So it is working in a way